This is Watchet Station on the Somerset Heritage Steam Railway, and it was here in 1964 that the Beatles came and filmed Hard Day's Night. Yes, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, Ringo Starr running up and down the platform. John banging on the window shouting, "Hey mister, can we have our ball back?" Ah, that's a pretty sight. That's the shortest pier in Britain. If you want the longest pier, you better go to Southend-on-Sea. Shortest pier, Burnham-on-Sea. So tiny, you can walk to the end of it in less than a minute. Just over there, Hinkley Point. Yay, the new nuclear power station. And right behind me is this weird and wonderful lighthouse built on stilts. It looks like something out of space, doesn't it? It's landed, it's this Martian in Day of the Triffids or something. This lighthouse has landed at Burnham-on-Sea. Now this is a really good example of regenerating a ruined pier. Back in 2007 there was a dreadful fire at Weston Super Mare and the pier was entirely consumed. And look how they've rebuilt it. It's a stunning piece and it's very popular. Squillions of people using it every day. They've done a really good job here. Well done, Weston. Weston Super Mare is a lovely town. I had a really fine panto season here back in 2008-9, straight after doing The Jungle, and I came fresh from The Jungle into the rehearsals at the Playhouse, and Mrs. Mallet had found me some lovely accommodation to stay in the Royal Crescent apartments. Absolutely lovely, and the town was gorgeous. A lovely winter spent here, and I'll always think of Weston fondly. It is always for me Weston Super Blah. And this is the moment that we say ta-ta to England and cross the Severn River. Yep, I'm on the bridge. The Great Bridge. Earlier today I cycled over the Clifton Suspension Bridge, and 100 years after that was built, this was constructed. And it's got these cycleways either side. It's the original Severn crossing that goes to Chepstow. Over to the left you can see the new Severn crossing. I like the fact they're collecting 7 crossings. It's one of the great cycle adventures to cross a boundary between 2 countries on such a vast river as this. The River Severn is one of the great dividing barriers of the world. And I love this feeling of cycling here like this. Yay! Over my shoulder, there's England. Up ahead, one of the great pillars. Oh my goodness me! That is a monstrous pillar. And it just feels so exciting and so thrilling to cross like this. I'm going to stop a minute. I just want to have a look over the edge. That's a long way down, and I can feel the bridge wobbling with the traffic going over. It feels just slightly weird actually, and a little bit dodgy. Everybody's comment here is, why isn't the barrier higher? Well, I rather like the fact that we're trusted not to jump across. I wonder at what point we actually enter Wales. Is it just in the middle of the river, Like now? Or is it only when we reach the other side? Don't know. I love the fact I'm still not even halfway. Wow, not even halfway. Unbelievable. This is a massive, monstrous bridge. I'm at Chepstow Castle with these lovely ancient walls and a beautiful tower. Yeah, this is one of the best medieval castles in Wales. Most of it built by my favourite, William Marshall. He commissioned this, the new tower. I like the way they call it new tower, that's original. And then some doors. And the people who built them went, let's see what we can do. What's your budget? He says, well, I want something stout and defendable, please. And so they built these. These are the actual original doors from the 12th century. 12th century? Yeah, I know. Look at that. How can you have doors that just last forever like this? Look at your front door now. How old's that? Don't think it comes anywhere near as old as this. It's got everything on here. I mean, look, it's got this crisscrossing extra defence. It's got these lovely rivets on there. And then look at the bolts. People have been doing that for 800 years. It's even got the ancient place that you wouldn't want to lose that key, would you? Imagine knocking on the door. Hello, can I come in? This is amazing. It was in use at Chepstow Castle as the main front door right up until the 1960s. So a gorgeous castle, brilliant walls, marvellous tower, an exceptional, outstanding, utterly brilliant front door. I'm gobsmacked. I love it. Over here is the old bridge over the River Wye, and it's the boundary between England on the left and Wales on the right. And what we have here is Chepstow Castle. Wow, what a glorious spot. Now I'm actually in somebody's garden because I came down this little lane here and Stan said, well, you're not too long, you can do a quick sketch. So that's my plan this morning, to draw this wonderful castle which was built mainly by one of my all-time historical favourites, William Marshall, the very first Field Marshal of England. The great hero of the Plantagenet age of King Richard the Lionheart, Henry II and King John. Now that's what I'm looking at, and there's my painted view. Chepstow, love it. Here's my bike with a wonderfully newly repaired rack. It's got a little bit of a cable tie on there just in case, and this is Brian who did it. Thanks Brian, you've done a wonderful job.
This was the body shop, and when I came here, I was a panel beater, and I was there.
I said it was a prisoner of war camp.
Originally, 1914-18.
Wow.
Yeah. Engine changes.
God, here's all the buses that they fix. It's amazing.
That's for electric bus charger.
Hey, what's it like welding aluminium, Brian?
Well, you have to use a flux. That's an aluminium welder, but I didn't want to use that.
Gets a bit hot, doesn't it?
Just a bit. And then I became the works superintendent of the whole lot, then the works manager.
Now this weird contraption here is one of a few transporter bridges in Britain. When I say few, there's one here in Newport, there's another one in Middlesbrough, and there's a third one in Warrington. But this, in fact, they all claim to be the original one. This was built in 1906, and it's got this lovely little platform thing here with a witch's hat contraption there, which is where the operator sits, and whizzes 140 people across the River Usk in 90 seconds. It's amazing, isn't it? And it's all made of Meccano. There is another way of getting over, and that is to climb up the steps, 270 odd of them, and all the way up to the top, which is roughly as high as 16 double-decker buses or 18 elephants. Whoever measured the elephants to do this? Anyway, 1, 2, Mr. Few, 270. Are we at the top yet? Surely I'm at the top. Crikey, this is a long way. When you look at these rivets, there's over 1 million of them. It's a thing of great beauty that is rather superseded these days by that. Yep. They built another bridge, but that's not as high. So you have a massive bridge here and a tiny bridge there. There's probably a reason. And here's the lovely little bit that everybody wants to know. If you're working up the top and you're suddenly caught short, where might you go to use the facilities? You go right there. Now that's amazing. So where's the plumbing? It's a long way down to the river. You know, I had hoped to actually ride across the Usk on the transporter bridge today, but sadly that was not to be because there's one driver and he'd gone shopping today. So I had to do a little detour around here and over that bridge over there. Hey, transporter bridge wins every time. Good luck. They're having a massive big renovation, and when this reopens it will be utterly brilliant. Here in Llandaff Cathedral they've got something really rather spectacular. They've got a pulpitum. A what? That's what that is. It's a pulpitum. It's this great big arch with the figure of Christ in Majesty on the top, done by Epstein. Now, what's really special about this cathedral is not that, but something else in a chapel. Come and see. One of the things I love about churches is discovering something unusual. Now, there are loads of great Celtic saints. St Tysillo is one I don't know very much about, but he was a good pal of St David, and he was very useful when there was a plague around because he would take people out of harm's way and give them some sort of nice medicine. I don't know, maybe a pint of brains or something. Aha! Brains. Over here is something really unusual. A relic. Are you ready? A real live relic. That is the top of St Tysillo's skull. Yeah. That's a weird thing to find in a cathedral. It's brilliant because it's an actual relic that was lost for squillions of years. It was given to the Matthews family when they spent a load of money on doing up the cathedral. This was a thank you. They would probably have preferred a few quid, but they got a skull instead. And then it went missing after the Reformation and only turned up in 1980 in Australia. Right, would you like it back, Llandaff Cathedral? Yes, please, they said, and so here it is. The skull of St Tysillo. Wow, brilliant story. Gavla, Smithy, it's lush. What's occurring? I'm at Marco's. Yeah! This is the home of Gavin and Stacey. I'm in Barry Island and I'm just thrilled to be here. It's such a magical place. Everybody who comes here comes and stands and has their photo taken. So I'm going to stand here and have my photo taken. Yeah! And say thank you for that great show. James Court, you wrote a brilliant show. Love it.